We are live, guys. Hello, everybody. This is Ken, along with my brother, Paper
What's up?
Plate.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? It's been a while since I've been live. I just wanted to come on for a second. I may do a second live because there's some other people that got the on device that wanted to come on and talk about it as well. Unfortunately, we really can't show nothing because one thing I found out, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, they're actually kind of like striking people that even show like legitimate apps, like regular apps that's on the actual devices. From what I
That's what I'm
understand,
hearing. Yeah, that's what
uh,
I'm hearing too. I'm
yeah,
hearing the same thing. Yep.
yeah. So I don't know how true that is, but just to be safe, like we can just talk about it. As you can see, I got one. I went on and got one. Sorry for the glare from the sun, but yeah, so I got one. I have an on box. Shout out to D Johnson. He was the one that told. Well, actually, let me back up. Let me back up a little bit. When I first heard about it, Trick and Sharon told me about it. This was even before it got released. Trick and Sharon had told me about that they're coming out with a new on box. So let me give her credit. And then I talked to D Johnson last night. He went on and got one. He said, Ken, you might as well go on and get one. He called me about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Well, I could have went on and grabbed it because Walmart and closed at 11. I just said, well, forget it. I'll just get one the next day, which is today. So shout out to Shriek and Sharon and shout out to D Johnson. They were the ones that told me about it because I said I wasn't going to buy any more devices because I got, as you well know, I'm sure when I say this, I'm sure everybody else in the community say we got so many boxes that we're not even using anymore. Now, of course, if a Shield come out, I'm sure all of us are going to be on board for that. But for the most part, I think I was pretty much through with buying devices. But for $29, I mean, come on, why not? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go over the specs on it. I'm gonna open it up. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna open it up until maybe later because my other friends wanted to come on with me and stuff. So I'm gonna see how that goes. But if they can't come on, I may do a second live and I'll do the unboxing on it because I do want to see. But I'll talk about it a little bit more. Like let me know if any of you guys got one, how they like it. There's a few YouTubers that already have them that have reviewed it and showed it, and they say they like it. You know what I'm saying? So there was a few people that I've seen on stream that has them. A few other YouTubers and stuff. They like it. They're saying that it's even faster. The processor is even faster than the Pro, the one that's $50. So that's even faster. I know it comes with Wi-Fi 6, and it comes with. Well, actually, while we're talking, let's just go over the specs real quick. Um, it has a voice remote included, Google Cast, 4K Ultra HD resolution, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, GPU, Wi-Fi 6, 2 gigabytes of RAM with 16 gigabytes of storage, which is nice. You know what I'm saying? So 16 gigabytes is enough, especially if you're only putting like a handful of apps on it. That's more than enough space. Let me see. Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz. Input come with an AC adapter. Uh, comes with the HDMI. You know what I'm saying? That's good. It comes with an HDMI cord. And then what's in the box? The 4K streaming box, of course, the remote, and it comes with two AAA batteries. I don't know how good the batteries are, but that's good that they include the batteries. That's nice, because some devices don't come with batteries. I mean, the Fire Stick do, and there's others, but some of them don't even come with the HDMI cord. So Walmart, they're doing their thing, and the AC adapter, and also this is what I find interesting. It comes with adhesive tape, 2 ply, adhesive tape, so that way that if you want to stick it behind your TV or beneath your desk or whatever, it comes with adhesive tape. I don't know if I'm gonna be using that because I got like a little shelf up here that I can put it on, but it's good to have it. I'll keep that adhesive tape. I'll just put it up in case one day I might want to put it behind my TV or something. But that's good to have that. And also come with the quick start guide. But how many of us use the guide? Come on, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's good to have instructions and everything like that. So, paper, is there anything that you want to expound on that?
Um, I believe the only thing that I know that's different too is they expanded on the release of them. I believe it's United States and shoot, I can't think of where else. I saw it the other day. There was two regions where this one will be available as far as on the markets. Of course, there's ways that you can use that anywhere as long as it's during the initial setup. So.
Okay, nice.
But I do know that they did change that, and I believe the one difference between the Pro and this one was the 3 gigs of RAM versus 4. I'm thinking.
Yeah, this one says it has 2.
Okay, so it's the 2 versus the 3. Okay, that's what it is. So the Pro,
has
$50 one has the 3. This one has the 2. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But they're saying
it does
that
have the new processor.
Yeah, they're saying that this processor is faster from the reviewers that I've seen, from the people that have shown it. They're saying that the processor is faster on it, But I'm curious to see. Like, I'm always a sucker for like how the apps transition and stuff. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
But I just want
I know Tech Doctor UK. He did a video a review on it, and and showed some benchmarking.
Okay.
And I think he was waiting on his actual device, but the benchmarks show it ahead of all Fire devices, including the 4K Max, and running side by side.
The new Max.
Yes, and running side by side with the second gen Cube. But the new generation of the Cubes, of course, are were better benchmarked. But I'm thinking it was almost dead even with the second gen Cube.
Okay.
So that's not bad for a $30 device.
No, it's not bad at all. And also, I wanted to mention too is that we often say this, guys. We often say this all the time, and I'm gonna go on and say it too. We all know the direction that the Fire Sticks are going. We've talked about it on numerous occasions. So this wouldn't be a bad option. It's cheaper, a lot faster. So I mean, this would be something that, like, if like, we don't know how long. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Paper kind of talk about that as well, because we was having some talks in the background about how the Fire Sticks are switching over to Vega or whatever it's called, and stuff like that. He has some very good points, so I want him to talk about that. But before he do so we all know that how the Fire Sticks are going, okay, the direction that they're going. This wouldn't be a bad option to tell people about, like, if they're if they want to get into streaming and finding something that's budget, that don't want to break the bank. It's $31.67 with change or something like that. Because I just got mine today. I went to and the good thing about it is I live in Michigan, so there's a city. My local Walmart is in Rochester, Michigan. So I was able to grab this right there. Now the Pro that I got, that one I had to drive to Wall Lake to get, but this one was right in my local store. So I just went on up the road to Rochester, and the guy got it for me. So they're in stores now. So this wouldn't be a bad option to tell people about, for, it's better, the price, performance, and everything, So this may be, as we say, the Fire Stick killer, you know what I'm saying? Because we also was recommending the $20 one, but for $30, it still is cheaper than the Fire Stick. So this is a better buy, you know what I'm saying? So if people have to transition over or switch over or whatever, this wouldn't be a bad option. So shout out to Walmart. They're doing a thing. They're putting out some good quality products for the price. Because I was kind of I ain't gonna say I was on the fence about it. I just made my mind I wasn't gonna buy no more boxes, like I said before. But when Sharon told me about it, and then when D Johnson called me, and then when I saw how much price it was, I'm like, well, you know what? You know, it's not like it's a $200 box or $50 or $80. You know, it's $29. So I mean, you know, like I buy by the time I buy my liquor and my beer, that's more than $30. So, you know, and I'm gonna piss that out. So so I mean, so that's gonna be gone within a matter of a minute. But this for $30, you can keep, you know, so you have this. So why not? You know, me and my wife go out for lunch. I'm spending $30 for that. You know what I'm saying? So why not, you know what I'm saying? So why not, you know what I'm saying, invest in this and you'll have it. So it give frequent updates and everything. So I think it's a nice product for what, you know, for what it is, from what I've seen for people. Like I say, I have yet to try it out, but I am going to try it out. But I've just been trying to hold off because I have some friends, like I say, D Johnson, Big H, and others that plan on getting theirs. They all want to come on with me and talk about it. But I just kind of want to just jump the gun, you know, just kind of give y'all like a little pre live to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try to hook it up to my capture card. You know, we'll see what's going on. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna let Paper kind of, if you don't mind, to kind of share with Hey Sharon. Hey Sharon. Okay, here's the link, Sharon, if you want to come on. You know, it's fine if you can't. I understand. I understand. But I'm gonna let Paper talk about the direction that the fire sticks are going and why this may not be a bad option. So Paper, if you would, thanks.
Yep. So now, first off, this is my opinion only, because nobody, I don't even know that people working at Amazon in the background as on the developer teams know exactly what's going to happen. But um, my opinion of it has been the same since the Fire Stick Lite came out 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
4
maybe.
years ago, yeah.
And we had touched on this at that point in time about the future of the fire devices. And at that point, I was done with them because it was becoming obvious which direction I felt that they were going in. And I made that clear to anybody that was asking me that I was no longer going to be messing with fire devices. And I haven't. And why I came to that conclusion was they were almost seemed like they were competing amongst themselves with all these devices. They had the 4K Max, they had the 4K, they had the Lite, they had the normal one, they had the Cube, they had it was getting ridiculous on what they were doing, and so it was almost like their intentions were to put all these out for money and then to just smash it all. In my mind, that's how I was looking at it business wise. And then they started with the um, little behind the scenes things in the UI as far as what you could change, what you couldn't change, and that's when a lot of the issues started with third-party apps, um, and even people that were making normal official apps for things was being removed or not allowed on their store, in the Amazon store, and bring all that to today, or when the news come out about Vega OS. um, it's pretty much became obvious to me anyway, again, my opinion, that their intentions are to become a closed UI
Mm-hmm.
system similar to Apple, um, or Roku, where they are going to be in total control of what is allowed and what is not going to be allowed or even work on their devices. Um, so I think that once they go to this Vega OS, it's possible that some developers do some scrambling, and I'm not quite sure how they're going to run on a Linux system, which is what Vega is going to be based off of, without having some type of developer options somewhere in the actual you know, operating system of the devices, but I believe that they possibly are going to keep that closed, or maybe have some way of getting into doing that. But again, you know, kind of same way that Roku does. It's, you know, and Apple does. You know, they have developer areas, but it has to go through this approval process before it can even be a thing. So I believe that's where Vega OS is headed to, so that they can have total control over the devices that they're putting out. Um, and it's unfortunate because, you know, a lot of folks and most of us started this whole thing with streaming on Fire devices. You know, back to the days of the Fire streaming box.
Right.
You know,
Yep. Yep.
up to, you know, when it really became popular with the Fire Sticks. And so I think it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I believe that I think that these companies like On seen this coming also, and thought that that was their opportunity to come out with the On devices. And look at where they're sitting at now. You know, they've got a $30 device that is competing with Amazon's $100 device. You know, in the Cube. So I think that they're slamming their door shut on themselves, not just the people that are using their devices. I think they're slamming the door shut business wise on themselves on that aspect. Is it going to hurt Amazon? Hell no.
No.
You know, do they care? They've made it pretty obvious that they don't over the last several years. So, you know, but you look at Roku, they're still either number one or number two on the devices that get sold. So
Right.
I really don't think it's gonna, you know, yeah, they might feel a little bit of a bite from, because we hear that a lot of people in the community that say, well, that's going to kill them when they do, if they do this, it's going to
No, it's
kill them
not.
because all of us is going to just stop buying their Fire Sticks.
Right.
All of us is just a very small number
Small percentage.
of people that buy Fire devices. So
Right.
I really don't think it's going to hurt them, just like it doesn't hurt Roku to stay locked down, just like it doesn't hurt Apple TV to stay locked down, you know. So that's where that's my thoughts on the whole Fire Stick thing. It's unfortunate and sad because so many people grew used to those devices, the UI, you know, our customers, new people, just, you know, for their own selves, their own usage. Us as people, you know, doing the tech side of things, reselling, you know, helping people out with the devices, whatever it may be. You know, it's unfortunate, but I think that it's going to be a very easy transition because on, especially with On devices, they are using the same UI that, you know, the Shields are using. You know, so it's not going to be a hard transition. And in my personal opinion, I think that the Google TV, Android TV OS, whichever one, you know, I think all of them are more simple than Amazon's UI. It makes more sense, I guess, is what I should say. Maybe not simple.
Because the Fire Stick was harder, been more difficult.
Yeah, but it just makes more sense the way things are laid out.
It does.
You know, so you know, that's my input on, in my opinion, on Amazon Fire Sticks.
Well, yeah, let me touch on that a little bit because, like you said before, that we make up a small percentage of people who do what we do. But the reason why it can seem like it's a lot because it's just us. But when you think about people abroad, it's like it's way more people that don't do what we do or stream or do third-party apps. Most people, because I've been in, I'm sure that when I say this, other people may have been out in conversations, hearing other people talking and people buying Fire Sticks while you're at Best Buy or they're talking in restaurants, but you try so hard not to butt in because it's not none of your business. But they say about they wish they knew somebody that knew how to program Fire Sticks, or they buy them just for this or buy them just for that. So that shows you right there that a whole lot of people don't know about what we do. There's a few people that I've shared it with, and they like, wow, I would have never known. The people at work that didn't even know about this. So we make up a small percentage, like he was saying, we make up a small percentage of that. And also, paper, there was a question I asked him too. Paper plane I'm talking about, where I was asking him about, okay, now the existing fire sticks may still be able to, like, because my mother and I have like maybe two other people, they're still like fire sticks. And my mother said that she hoped that she doesn't have to transition over. So I'm hoping for her sake that the older sticks may stay on the actual Android base. But like Paper had mentioned, and I'm gonna let him kind of expound on that about, well, where does that go far as with updates? Because once they switch over to Vega, they're no longer going to be supporting that. Paper, am I right or wrong? I mean, can you kind of explain
Right.
that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely correct.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Can you continue? Like what I mean for like, far as like you were saying how, okay, well, what happens after so long? Okay, say like, okay, we got all our apps on there. We have, so I'm just going on saying we got cinema, we have our premium services on there, we have all our apps on there. Okay, so
mhm.
what happens at that point once they stop supporting that? Do those apps stop working, or do they continue to work, or what? I mean, I don't.
So people that have Fire devices right now, I mean, and again, I think that this has been said many a times, but the fear is still out there that my Fire stick that I have now is
May
gonna
not work.
stop working when they do this, and I honestly, very seriously, I mean, I would almost lay a paycheck on it that any Fire device that's out there currently is not going to stop working right away, because they are not going to push a whole new operating system in an over-the-air update. It's just, it would be ridiculous and to do something like that. Um, the devices that are out there right now, the devices that you can still buy right now, that are still on Fire OS, are still going to continue to work until they decide, just like your cell phone companies do, with Samsung or Apple or whoever else, that decide that, um, we're going to stop pushing updates. We're going to stop supporting this. And so then you start seeing things start breaking, when Cinema HD updates to a newer version. Is it still going to work on that Fire device that doesn't have any support and hasn't updated to a
We
new
don't know.
version? No. You know, well, I mean, I
You
can't say
say you
no
say you
because it
say you
possibly
saying
will.
you're saying no, right? See. So that's kind of pretty much, not to cut you off, bro, but that's pretty much where it's at this moment, far as from what I can understand. Now, if there's somebody else out there, like I know Paper knows, but if there's somebody else out there that want to chime in on the chat or want to come on the stage and talk about it, that's pretty much how, like I said, I don't profess to know everything, and I'm still kind of, wondering too, because
Well,
like,
I mean, if you think about it, Ken, and whoever else, I mean, that's wondering, if you take an app that's on your, what phone do you have right now, Ken? You have the
uh
S25, correct?
S25 Ultra to be
Okay.
exact.
Okay. So you take an app that's on that phone. Okay.
Uh-huh.
An app that's working on that phone,
Mhm.
an app that's been around for years. Okay. So you take Gmail, for example. Okay. It's running, of course, an updated version of Gmail. Hey, Southern Tech. Um, correct. There's a version of Gmail that's running on your device. Correct. That's been updated. Now, if you take that same app, okay, and download it, and I guess, take that APK file and try to put it on a an the
Like
original Razor,
another razor phone.
phone,
Yeah, yeah.
running Android 6. Is it going to work?
No.
Exactly. So when apps are being updated, not only is Amazon going to stop supporting that device with updates, but also that app is going to stop getting support for that
Yeah.
genre or that's
The platform, that
that
platform.
that version of that app. So if you happen to uninstall version 3 of the app, and the app is already at version 13, you're not going to be able to probably find that version 3 any longer anywhere.
Because that, well, yeah, you know what, that kind of makes sense because what most of us know that Windows 10 is coming to the end. They've announced that I
Right.
think in October somewhere they're going to stop servicing Windows 10. So now, so I guess this kind of what people are saying, which kind of makes me understand too, is that okay, will Windows 10 stop working? No, but they're going to stop supporting it, which means that they're not going to give it more updates, or it may be vulnerable to certain other stuff because they're not putting those updates and stuff out. So eventually that can kind of be a bad thing later on up the road because it may affect performance. It may or things of that nature. Right. Am I correct, Paper, when I say that?
Correct. Yep, exactly. Yeah. And that's going to be the issue. So yeah, it's still going to work right now. Whatever you've got on there is going to work. It's going to work for a day. We don't know. It's going to work. It might work for 2 years.
Right.
But eventually, just like your old phone that you got sitting in the cabinet somewhere at home, things are going to stop working. You're not going to be able to do certain things on that phone that you can do on your newer phone. That's where the
So
issues
that's
come.
pretty much where, right. But so eventually it may be that may be the case. So that's why, like, see, back then when we first had started, like I say, like I'm a new person into this whole streaming thing. I mean, there's a lot more people that were way in it way back in the day. But from where I got introduced to it, I mean, the Fire Stick was the standard. I mean, it was the cheaper version. That was kind of pretty much the standard because there was no other devices out there that was better. But now that we have options now, so what that the Fire Stick isn't working anymore? So what? You know what I'm saying? We got other options now.
Right. You go back 15 years ago or 20 years ago, probably about 15 years ago, probably.
Yep.
I think when the Fire Stick came out, I'm not quite sure when it actually first debuted, the first Fire Stick.
I
I'm
can't
not sure.
remember, but yeah, but I can. Yeah, back
I'm
when
not at my I'm,
we
I'm
were
not
able
at
to
the
show,
computer
yeah,
to
we were
see
able to show
either.
stuff. We were able to do fire. I mean, Fire Stick. I mean, I can remember us buying them on Amazon Prime. We was buying them. I mean,
Right,
this is
right.
when MS7 was together. That's when other teams were all. We were all the teams together. We was all buying Fire Sticks, buying them
Yep.
by the bulk, sharing them, talking about them, showing stuff. Those were the fun days. But now those days are behind us now because of what they're doing with YouTube. And I think that's what pretty much made this whole streaming thing kind of take a dive, far as on YouTube with showing stuff. So, but with that being said, I'm so glad that we have options now, options this and other devices that we have that people can go to
Right,
now.
right. When before there really wasn't. It was
There really wasn't right. We were stuck with that one.
yeah,
Yeah,
the APK thing was new. Before all there was either online links via web, or you had XBMC, or which
yeah.
now is Kodi.
Cody,
you
which is
know
now Cody. Yeah,
and that was it. And then the APKs hit the scene, and what devices did we have to put APKs on?
yeah.
There really
Right,
wasn't a whole lot out there,
right.
other
And
than
the thing with the Fire Sticks, what made them so successful and still are, is because at that time it was the price, and also it was the portability. They were
right.
small. They were
Yep.
small. So that's where the Fire Sticks had the advantage. And then there was no competition. Now, there were other things out, don't get me wrong, but far as like for what the price was and for the portability, I mean, at that time, that was the only thing that was really doing it on that. The Fire Stick was the only thing that's doing it on that type of a scale, on the price and on the portability. But now these things right here can go in your pocket too, because from what I understand, these truckers are small, and the $20 ones are even smaller. So there you go now.
You
So
see Solbro's comment, Ken?
let me see. Maybe
Yeah,
running a virtual machine on the Fire Stick would work on the new OS, and
that's
folks
possible.
will be able to run. You know what? That's possible. You know what? It's funny you mentioned that. So, bro, that could be possible.
You
That could be
know,
possible. Yeah, we probably have to
yeah,
just have to wait and see if that. You know what I'm saying? Have to wait and see. You know.
you know, with it being
Yeah.
Linux, there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of options and a lot of discovery going on. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the thing. You know, with Linux
It's
is
kind of we don't know yet. We don't know yet. So
right.
that's
I mean,
probably you know
Android
what
is
I'm saying.
based off of Linux. You know,
Right.
so it's you
So
know there's so many ways you can go with Linux
what's gonna be
and
you
keep
know what I'm saying?
either keep
Right.
it closed
Right.
or you can have it open. You know,
So
there's just so many options. Yeah,
right.
it's going to be a definitely a discovery period with when they do come. I mean, actually, they've already got a device out. I believe what's the little displays that they have, Ken? Your
Uh,
one sitting behind you.
oh, the Echo shows.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the newest Echo show, I believe, was
This guy
that
here, the 15. This guy here, this already had. This one already had.
has
You can
has
see it in the
Vega.
background. This has Vega already. This has Vega
Yeah,
already.
yep. And the TV that they've got that's coming out, or actually it might be out too, that has the new Vega OS
Yeah.
included into the Fire OS operating, you know, so kind of like the Fire TVs had Fire OS on them for the apps and whatnot. The newest TV has the new Vega OS. And I don't know anybody that has one or I haven't seen anything where anybody's played with any of them or done any online reviews or
I
anything
saw
yet.
it.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of we'll see who gets something first and who wants to review something first and figure out what you can and can't do.
Yep. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Like I say, this one has Vega on it. I haven't messed with it or anything. You know what I'm saying? I
So,
put it
bro.
there really good. Yeah, man, it really like just be there, man. I just got it, man. It's just crazy. But yeah. Shout out to Soul, bro, man. Love you, my brother. But yeah. Y'all remember now. I think Sugar Sean can attest to this. Back when these 15s came out, they secretly put downloader on there for a split second. But when people tapped in on it, they had to hurry up and take it off because we was able to put APKs on there. But I don't know if anybody remembered that, but it was so short-lived to where that it just happened just like that. And then because Sharon had told me, somebody told me about, I think when Sharon told me about it, I said, you know what, I'll just do it when I get home because when she called me, I was out. I said, what I do when I got home, and then by the time I got home, they already took it away. But I just thought that was just kind of interesting to bring up, is because they always do stuff, but then when we get it, they already take it away. Yep,
Yep.
millisecond. Yep. See right here. See a millisecond paper. They had actually put downloader on this.
Yeah.
Hear me?
Yep. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
For like literally a split second. So some of you may
Well,
wonder, well, Kim, why are you bringing this up? It's because I'm bringing it up is because that just goes to show you how they try to do any, you know what I'm saying? Like soon as somebody hurry up and see it, they hurry up, take it away. They don't want you like I'm saying with Amazon products, they don't want you doing nothing no more than what that they want you to do on it. That was the reason for me bringing it up.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you ever heard. This was something I heard about. I never got a chance to verify it, or when I tried to check it, it was not a thing. But I did hear some chatter in some of the dark alleys on the interweb
Okay, that's what it was.
about
Okay.
when the very first show came out, the small one. It was the 5, maybe, I think.
Yeah.
The very first model of it, when it first came
But we
out
see what
on the
Sobro
scene,
said too, don't you? By the way, see what Sobro said too, Pep. We
it
see
was.
the
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Um,
As soon as we heard about it, it was over with. Yep, exactly.
yeah, they the very first show had us exploit in it where you were able to put sideload apps on.
Oh, really?
Again, I this was when it very first was released, from what I remember reading about. Again, when I tried to test one, I went and bought one at that point to try check it out, because I'm like, well, shit, man, if I could watch TV sitting there at my bed, with something that's already there, hell yeah. Well, when I got one to check out, it was not. It didn't do it.
Right,
And I
right.
didn't
He
know,
had faded
and
away.
I
He
don't know.
didn't hurry up and done it yet. Did he hurry up
Right,
and
and
did
at
it?
the time, I didn't know of anybody that had gotten one, or that I actually spoke with or knew personally that had gotten one that did it. It was something that I read online, that was in a community that there were several people talking about it. So I don't know if that was ever a real thing or not, if it was just someone starting shit.
Yeah, cause like I said,
But
cause me and Son. A matter of fact, I remember this day perfectly. Me and Son was at dinner, and Sharon had called me. Sharon had called me and said, "Kid, they got downloaded." Remember this, Sharon? Remember that, Sharon? When you called me, Sharon
Yes, I
said,
remember that. As a matter of fact, what had happened was how they ended up having the side loader part on the Echo 15 was they were changing it over to the TV thing. They had just had an update and they were changing it over where you can look at your Echo 15 like you're watching TV, which you still can do now. So when they first updated it and changed it over there, people were able to put downloader on there. So I put downloader over there immediately, and I put a couple of apps. But then I had something to do. I called. I said, "No, I stopped to call you." I put a couple of apps on there, and I stopped to call you to let you know about it. And then when I went back to do it, I couldn't add nothing else. But once they had another update, it made it. If you didn't already have downloader on there, you couldn't get in on there.
Yeah, because me and my wife was at dinner when she called. Me and Son was at dinner when she called, and then as soon as she called, it was like bam. As soon as she called, when I came home and done it, it was gone. Because Sobro said it. It was there for like 2 weeks, and then it was just over. Because once we heard about it, it was over with. So it was on there for a split second. Hold on, guys, for a second. Hold on.
Yes.
Take it off from me, somebody.
Also, I remember that. Another thing too is the second Fire Stick they ever came out. The second Fire device they came out with. It also had the where you put the USB port in, where you could add more storage. And that I still have that one, the second Fire device, and they had, and I love that thing. And then when they came out with the number 3, then they took that away. But remember, they used to have where you could load all your apps onto the storage, or you could just add your own storage by hooking it onto the back of the Fire device.
You're not lying. Come on.
And so you could put like unlimited apps on there. Pardon me?
Are you talking about the box?
Yes, the box, the second one they had, not the first one, but the second one that they had. Actually, it was the first box, kind of. Yes,
the first one. Yes,
I have the first box, but the second. Yes, it was the first box, and then another thing too. When the Roku came out, even though there were other devices, because they had the Mi box and other boxes and stuff like that out, so those was a little bit of competition, but not really competition. The only biggest competition that the Fire Stick had a little bit was the Roku, which we know.
Yeah, if you give me just a minute, when I go back over to the computer, I will. I'll turn my camera on and show you. Yeah, I've got that first box handy.
I do too. I have that box too that you can put the thing in the back of. Yes, I'm never getting rid of that.
It's got the Ethernet port.
Yes, that you can add your own and stuff, and then they took that away. It's like everything good that Amazon have, that's a plus for us. And then they feel like it's working because let's keep it a buck. And let's keep it a buck. If it wasn't for us, the Fire Stick wouldn't have got as big as it was. If it wasn't for people like us, if people went about the Fire Stick, because Roku already had everything you needed. What the heck do you need a Fire Stick for? If you think about it, the only thing the Fire Stick had over there is that you could side load it.
Well, here's the
Even
thing.
Though you can side load everything too.
Remember back then, Sharon, how when we first was doing it, how the portability and stuff, that's where it's at. But now it's so unfortunate now to where, since we're not able to like show stuff on YouTube now, all these wonderful boxes are starting to hit the scene now. And so think about it like this.
Right.
I'm about to say. So I'm about to say something.
Wait, let me say something real quick before you get into that, Ken. I just want to let you know that Ken's video is, I know this is Ken's channel, but it's not sponsored by OWN. Just so you know, we're not getting paid or anything. For Ken's not getting paid a penny, so this is not an OWN sponsorship.
There goes the funnies already. The funnies are starting
This is the
already.
Plates Place Warped Media sponsored
Hey,
show.
what's up, Zane? What's up,
Hey,
Zane?
Zane.
What's going on?
Love you, sis.
Finish the point real quick, Sharon, so I can go into what I was going into real quick. Go ahead, Sharon. Go ahead.
Oh, I was finished. With my
that was
point.
it? Okay.
That's all I was saying. Wanted to say is they wasn't sponsored.
I'm not sponsored. Oh yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
not.
because I know we're up in the one box and kind of putting down the witch machine. So we just wanted to let you know, this is not paid sponsorship.
Actually, we're not putting down the Fire Stick. The Fire Stick
Not putting it down, but I mean,
no.
Because I still kind of like I still love my cube. I still love my cube.
Let me say this. Let me just say it like this. Okay, back then the Fire Stick was the standard. It's still a good device because my mother has it and others. So Fire Stick is a household name like Pepsi, like Coke, and all of that. So when you think of streaming, you automatically think Fire Stick. So that's why the Fire Stick is always a thing. But think about it like this, y'all. What I find ironic is that now that the Fire Sticks are changing their operating system, which was once the standard, now that we can't show stuff on YouTube, we're coming out with all these other options now. Ain't that crazy? That's the point I'm trying to get at. I'm saying, don't y'all think that's kind of ironic a little bit?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, let me see something here. There we go. There's
yeah.
Yeah, because when you think about it, because it's like now, I'm not sponsored by OWN enough. I'm not sponsored by nobody, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting down the Fire Stick, but the Fire Stick is no longer the standard anymore. And in case this is more like an educational thing to let people know that, look, listen, if the Fire Stick do get on some BS by switching over to Vega, and if it affects the older sticks, then we have to turn to something else. Because I already told my mother that if something happens or something, they would have to be transferred over to like another device. So that's all that I'm saying. But if you have a Fire Stick now, you're fine now. But just in the event that, because we don't nobody know what it's going to do yet, because it's still new. Right. Nobody has one in their hand where they can say, okay, well, this is Vega or this is in our hand yet. So that's just like kind of like a waiting game to wait and see what it does, because don't nobody know. This is purely just speculation right now.
Yeah, don't be away. Don't be away.
So do anybody else?
Oh, there's a will, there's a way.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it is, Sharon. I'm sure it is, Sharon. I'm sure it is.
You got, Sharon?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. But here's the thing, though, Sharon.
Yes, that's what I have.
Yeah, those were nice. Those are really, really nice. Those really, really nice.
Yeah, I see.
I hate I don't have mines no more. I hate I don't have mines anymore, man.
It is not going nowhere. That's the only Fire device I will hold on to. The rest of
them, that and my cube are the two ones I always hold on to. The one you just showed and my cube.
Those were real nice. Hey, Sharon, take over for me.
Oh, my 15.
Bathroom, Sharon. Sharon, I got to pee real quick. Take over real quick, Sharon. I got to pee right quick.
Okay.
With my FireMax 11 tablet, that thing's a beast. The FireMax 11 tablet. I just hope they Vega OS doesn't mess with tablets.
Okay. And that's one thing. Another thing, I'm glad you mentioned something about the Fire tablet. A lot of people don't know. For those who don't have an Echo or, the Alexa Echo, whatever you want to call it, you can turn, if you got a child and they don't have one yet and you want to be able to do stuff with it like similar to that, you can turn your tablet into that. I know quite a few in the chat know, but for the few new ones that may have jumped in the chat. So that's one thing I like about the Amazon tablet. You can literally turn it into an Echo.
Yep.
And stuff. So you can do the same thing on it. You can set it up an old tablet. So I wouldn't get rid of it. You got an old tablet, you're not using it that much and stuff. Definitely turn it into that. You could still listen to music on it. You could use it as a little mini surveillance camera, all them things. There's so many things you can do with it.
It's not going to affect old devices. It's going to affect new devices first.
Right. It always does that and then trickle down.
Then it'll trickle down. But the only thing bad about old devices, once an OS is on there, they really can't change an OS on an old device.
Mhm.
Right.
That'd
That's
be
what I was
too-
saying. They're not going to
That'd be
push
too
over-the-air
complicated and there'd
update.
be too many bugs,
OS.
glitches. It would never work.
Right.
Correct.
Updating
Correct.
OS, yeah.
Yeah.
Change it completely?
Yeah,
No,
completely ain't
they're
happening.
not going to do it.
Right.
Nope.
That'd be too much cost in that too.
The only issue that's going to come about it is the lack of support for
Mhm.
that
Exactly.
OS.
Yeah, look like a support, but right.
And how long is that going to be? That's
And then
hard
remember,
to say.
companies will have
And that's
to
the question
change
right
the
there
app
that we're trying to
format.
figure out. That's the question right there
app
on.
format on new companies.
So
will
let me
have
ask you a
to figure
question.
it out.
Let me ask you a question we can share real quick. Hey, Donald, how you doing, Donald?
I'm good, Ken.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Let me
Hey,
ask
another
you a
thing
question.
Donald.
people ain't realizing.
Sharon.
The apps
So
are going to
Sharon,
have
so
to
do
go to a
you
new
think?
format.
So Sharon, so do you think that? Because you already know, Sharon, that they're switching over to Vega. Okay, we already know that.
Correct.
Before you came on, man, Paper was discussing that we don't like the Fire Sticks right now, the current ones that we have now. We know that those might still stay on Android. So do you
Correct.
think that, now, like in your opinion, do you think that eventually that those might become obsolete as time goes on?
Is that a Roku up there you showing? I know you don't got a Roku.
Whoa, that's an old.
You just
that's
got that
old.
sound bar?
That's
A Roku sound bar?
I think that's a sound bar. It look like it's a sound
Yeah, it
bar.
look like a sound bar.
Yeah.
Are you on mute, Paper?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's yep. I got it. It's not even opened. It's
Oh
still
yeah,
sealed
yeah, I
up,
forgot
and,
about
and
that.
Mhm.
it ain't gonna be opened because I got it from AT&T.
So Sharon, so
when I
that
signed
question,
up.
Sharon,
Yeah, but it's
like,
a sound bar though, so it's not like it's a device like we're watching. So the sound bar isn't as bad, you know.
But I don't have any need for it.
Okay, I bought it from you there.
so you want to answer that question, Sharon, real quick? I mean,
Yes.
from what you-
Do you said that you? I don't. It's always when you were gone. You I know you missed this part, but long as that old device can work and do some stuff, do things for you, I don't feel like it's a need to get rid of anything that's old originally. Like for example, we were talking before.
You mean the fire? You mean the Fire Stick? What you meant, or no?
Or even the Fire Stick, but the Fire Stick still works for you. You might have a family member or somebody that could use that till they can afford the updated one, you know? So you know how they say if it does not broke, don't fix. Don't.
No.
Like,
The question was we know that part. No, the question was that like from the longer game, like eventually, like once they stop, if they do stop like servicing the older Fire Sticks, do you think that as time progresses, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause we know we have our premium services on there, we have our apps. You know what I'm saying? In your opinion, do you think that they're going to stop working? Like I'm saying, you know how when Windows 10, when they stop
You
servicing
mean
Windows
the technology?
10,
You think it's going to
it's
outgrow
still
the
going to
technology?
work. It's still going to work, but
that
it may
right
be
there.
vulnerable to other stuff. It may be vulnerable to other like viruses or vulnerable to other like compatibility issues. What I'm trying to say. So do you think that's going to be the case, Sharon, or no?
I think it's kind of my opinion. I think it's kind of a catch-22 because some stuff like there sometimes you can't tell. And the reason why I say that is remember when they had the I forgot what was it ME? One of the computer systems came out and they said, oh, we're gonna stop doing that. And it was a horrible computer system. And everybody wanted to reset theirs back to the previous system because the previous system worked way better. So probably was Vista. I forgot which Windows it was. So when they stopped doing support for it, it's hard to tell. I mean, you might not be able to hardly put nothing new on it, but if it still has a use, then again, it may be a way to still put new stuff on it.
Yeah.
So you just never know. That's kind of a tricky because it's not because we haven't got to that point yet. So I don't want to say that that's not going to happen.
Sharon, that's why I'm kind of with it too, Sharon. So it's kind of like that's why I'm at with it too. Is like
because
I don't want to put nothing out there yet because we don't know exactly how it's going to go until we actually get one and then we see how it goes. So yes, I guess
right.
Jumping a gun, so to speak. I guess I don't know.
Well, who knows? You never know. As if this what they're changing to might be a bad idea, and they be like, "Dang, now we need to change back to Android." And everybody be glad they kept the Android version. You know how stuff goes.
Touching on Soulbro's comment there brings up a question that I have for the panel and the chat.
Good point, Soulbro. Good point.
And yeah, that's I mean, that statement that he made there is absolutely true.
Real good.
I-
Yeah, real
I-
The
good
only
point, brother.
thing on that statement, though, right there, what he's saying is that, like Sharon just said, you won't be able to put anything new on it.
But do we know that per se right now, Donald? Do we
But
know
we
that
don't
now?
until, like you said just a minute ago, you said we'll have to find that out in the future, but they
Yeah.
could lock it down. Like Sobro saying that on the old devices, they could, like, whatever you're
Because
doing
you can
now, get it
still,
updated.
because like,
And
Mhm.
you won't be able to add new.
because like right now, like if you disable like right now, like if you got like a modded system,
Mhm.
you can disable updates and you can still add stuff to it. You just don't let it
Right.
update, because if you let it
Right.
update, then it
And that
messes
messes it up.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So
But eventually, though, Ken, when they force one, they're going to force one when you boot it up or unboot it or shut it down. Like sometimes when you
Mhm.
boot stuff up,
that's why
it'll
that's why you
automatically do
never
that.
that's why you never ever turn on updates. I'm saying, like,
Right,
my
right.
PS5, I mean my PS4 and stuff, you never ever turn on the updates.
I always leave
Because
that
once you
off
do that,
And
myself
you
because
always,
I
you
like
can
doing
always
my
set stuff to
updates.
update manually. So if you
yeah,
keep it on
that
update
too,
manually, then you
that
control the
too.
updates on it anyway. If you
Correct.
keep it on update manually, so
Too.
that's another option too.
I always turn auto off when I can. I always turn auto.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know when I used to use Kodi a lot, I always kept my auto updates. I always kept them off. I always kept it
Because
on
they mess up
manually
your,
update
it
because
can mess up a lot of stuff, like your settings, your
Mhm.
favorites, all that stuff can get messed up.
Right. Because I used to hate that. So that's another reason why when I always use Kodi, I always kept it off and had it set to manual
So
Right.
when did they
updates
say
on
that?
Kodi.
When did they say that Vega's supposed to be hitting the scene? Paper. Did you hear anything about when it's supposed to be hitting the scene or what?
I
On
heard
any new
6 months.
device, any new device that they're manufacturing is going to have the Vega OS, except
How
for,
soon
I
they
mean,
come?
now
How soon those coming out?
they
Probably
haven't said.
likely fall.
They've already talked. There's already a TV out, and of course, on some
Yeah,
of
the
the
15. Yeah, the
yep,
Apple 15. We
some of
know
the
that. We know
devices
Vega's
that
out on that.
have Vega OS on them already. Um, so, and from my understanding, when any new item that's coming out is going to be coming with that Vega OS.
And I heard they're making a tablet especially for it too. I heard that just recently. They're making a Vega OS tablet.
Yep, the tablets, the streaming devices, the TVs, all the devices that they have currently are going to be, the newer models are going to have the Vega OS on them, and anything new from this point out is going to have Vega OS. As far as a
We'll see if it
date,
can survive. We'll see.
yeah, as far as an exact date, I don't think they put one out.
Okay.
They haven't put any
My
dates.
question though on Solbro's comment is,
Yeah, let's go back to that.
yeah,
Okay, that was very interesting. That was very interesting what he said. So yeah, let's go back to that.
my question on that is, and not necessarily a question for Sobro, but my in my brain, I'm questioning the fact that, yeah, they absolutely have the ability to do that, because if you go into the devices that you've had registered on your Amazon account, you can disable and lock that device to where nothing can be done, nothing can be used on it, period. So if you have the ability to do that, they have the ability to do it. But the question is if they send out they're not going to go individually. So if they send out a mass command to disable devices, do they have a way of disabling only the streaming devices, and is it not going to affect anything on that Fire OS system, including
I personally don't think they're gonna go ahead.
I don't think they'll do it, but
I don't think that even if they did do it, I don't think they would do it all of them at the same time. And the reason why I say they would do it slowly, because they want to give customers the time to, oh, that's what's happening, let me go buy the newest one or a different one, so that, because if they did that, they would lose a lot of business. People are like, what? They messed up my TV on at one time, so they're gonna let you know for the longest. This is what we're gonna do.
I think
and then when they do it, it's gonna be a slow rollout if they do it.
Yeah, they would do a future date for sure on it. I'm just curious if they could discriminate when they're sending out this command in between Fire Stick 4Ks, Fire Stick 4K Max.
Right. Yeah.
Amazon Show 15.
Yeah. Y'all see what he's saying, right? What
That's what I'm
y'all see what
wondering
he's saying because
because
you got all these devices.
Right.
So I didn't know which one. Okay, they're gonna send out for this particular one, this one, this one, or are they going to just send a massive update out to just get all of them like that? You know what I'm
right, do
saying?
they
So
have the
Right.
ability to send out or individualize something that's on the same exact
on the
operating
same
system?
exact operating system, right? Right.
You know,
Right.
that's my
It's
question
crazy.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Only
Because
time will tell on
because
that.
yeah,
Only time.
absolutely they've got
Weird, bro.
All else
because
fail, I got my
absolutely
shield. All else fail, I got my
absolutely
shield.
Yeah,
they have the
my wife
ability
was
to
saying the
do
same
it.
thing.
You
She was
know,
just like, "Well, just tell
All I
everybody to
need is a
get a
web
shield."
browser. Just give me a web browser.
I tell everybody. I be telling everybody, even the people I be
Oh,
telling to recommending the on box too. I
yeah,
tell them if you really want the ultimate experience, get your
yeah, for
shield.
real. Yeah, for real.
Shield all the way, always updates. The shield's been out forever. Even when the Fire Stick was out, and stuff. When the Fire Stick was the most popular, the shield still was just as popular. Shield, matter of fact, the shield. I just updated my brother's shield today when I was at his house. They got
yeah, the
another
shield.
update.
I
I
mean,
just
the
updated his
shield.
shield today.
Yeah, the shield is like the Mercedes of
Yeah.
Devices.
car device class. Yeah, I mean, you've got
Mm-hmm.
the Roku's, you've got the Fire Sticks, you've got the Ons, you've got all these other devices, and the Shield set at the long time up there with the Mercedes and the BMWs and the Ferraris.
Because see, what a lot of people don't know is, that the Nvidia Shield was a gaming console first, streaming device
Correct.
second. When it came
Mhm.
out, but when people found out that they can put apps and stuff on it, that's why it made it so powerful. Because so I'm saying that's why nothing been able to really touch it after all these years. It's still getting updates. Now with the release of the Switch 2, we're hoping that we get another shield that can be maybe on Wi-Fi 6, that can come be a little bit more faster, you know, because that Tegra chip is getting a little. I mean, it still runs. But it's getting a little bit kind of outdated a little bit. You know what I'm saying? For gaming, but streaming is still good. You know what I mean?
You couldn't tell my nephew nothing. I could not update that thing fast enough because he was ready to play his Apple
I
game
mean,
on there.
for retro stuff, I mean, it's going to play
Right.
good. And for the other stuff too, because with GeForce Now, you can play it on there too. You know what I'm saying? The point I'm trying to make is that we all say that the Shield is good, but I'm just glad that now that the Fire Stick isn't just the standard now. That's just not the major go-to now. Now we have competition now that we can refer people to. Okay, well, look, listen. That's what makes the streaming thing so beautiful is because you got higher end stuff for people that's interested in that. There's a market for everything because everybody's pockets are different. Okay, well, look, listen.
Yep.
I'll show this on my channel. Sharon to show this. Pipper show this, and then people look at that and be like, okay,
Donna to show this.
right, exactly. That may be a little bit. I'm saying where what Ken is showing may be a little bit too expensive for my pocket. Well, paper on the other hand may show the own or show this and show that. Okay, now that's more like it. Not saying that what I'm showing is bad because I'm going to reach an audience that say, listen, I'm just going to skip off the middleman and I'm going to go rise to the top and get this right here. But for those of us that don't really have the money, or for those of us that's kind of don't want to spend that, there's other options. So that's what I like about the whole.
Yeah, and then like the device that's in between, the other device I use all the time too, which I can't think of the name of it for nothing at the moment. And dang, and I just used it yesterday.
Right.
You know what device? The
Formula?
one that you
Formula?
The formula. And
Formula.
stuff.
Yep, the formula.
Yeah,
I love my formula too. It just slipped my mind, but yeah, the formula's in between the shield. Like if you feel like the one is too expensive, if you want to upgrade from the on,
each device I think has
each its
its
own.
niche,
Right.
and you look at the formula, and by far, in my opinion, the formula is amazing at with its app for streaming the mole, and yeah, you can game on it. Yeah, you can use it as a NOS server. Yeah, you can. There's several things you can do with the formulas too. But by far that built-in app that they have for Mole is by far, I think, in my opinion, one of the best there is for live
Oh yeah,
Live
media.
TV and live recording and
You
recording
know,
and
yeah,
stuff.
you know,
It's really great
yeah.
for
And
TV.
y'all can hear
you
me
look at
say,
the
y'all can hear me
Shield.
say,
The Shield is an all-around type
man,
device. You know,
yeah, man,
you
those
look at
formulas, that's the love letter to IPTV, man.
right.
That's a
So
love.
Definitely.
Yeah. But
yeah, you know,
something that Sharon said, paper, so let's cut you
mhm.
off, but something Sharon said, Sharon kind of jogged my memory or something I wanted to say. Y'all remember back then when I used to talk about, when I had a show, we talked about our introductory device.
Yep.
Remember y'all, so let's talking about that. What was our
Yes.
introductory device starting out? Okay, the reason why I said that is because a lot of times people can use also not only for the budget, we can use these also for introducing somebody to it. I've had a person that start like my wife, you know what I'm saying? My wife is the poster child for this. Y'all know who Son is. She started with a fire stick. The fire stick was the best thing since sliced bread as far as what she was concerned. But she out, you know what I'm saying? She outgrew the fire stick and now she's a Shield owner. So the Fire Stick was her introductory device to get her into streaming. And now that she's kind of what you call advanced in it, she wanted something a little bit more better for her streaming needs. So that's another way that we can also use these budget devices as well. Like if you're kind of skeptical about buying something top shelf at the moment, get a little something that's a little cheaper that'll introduce you to streaming, and then you can go up the ladder.
Man, I remember Son and Plastic Fork. Man, they were pretty. You might as well say they were arm in arm when I was trying to introduce them to the Shield.
Sure was.
Nah, I don't want that thing in my. I want my Fire Stick. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, because paper plate
take that
wipe,
Shield. Yeah,
was
take
the
that
same
Shield
way.
and put it back in your room.
Yep.
Like, really?
Yep.
You're picking the Fire Stick over a Shield.
I think the reason why I'm gonna tell you the reason why Plastic Fork and Sonya like the Fire Stick better, because the Fire Stick was more remote friendly than the Shield. That was the only downside. If I have a downside about the Shield, I would say the remote. But however,
well,
if you got a smart TV like my TV, the Samsung TV that mirrors every device that hits that TV, you can use your regular remote. But you know, with most people with the Shield, you have to get a third party remote, because like if you get ready to type something in, you can't really type it in like with the fire devices. Right. You know, it just pops up the thing and then you can just move it around, navigate it around, and you don't even have to use mouse toggle, you know. You can just navigate around and type in if you're looking for a movie, you know. Say for example, if you're looking for the Smurfs, you know. But with the Shield, several things you want to do. You need either a keyboard type of remote, or you know, you need some type of third party remote. So if there was a downside to the Shield, or unless you're gonna try to use the gaming remote, but that was the only downside I could say originally to the Shield. But other than that, once you learn how to work the remote real good on that Shield,
yeah, that's why I made the point, Sharon, about the introduction, because when I met my wife, she wasn't, you know what I'm saying, she was cable like most of us were. And right. So when she started doing that, like I say in a Paper Plate's wife, Plastic Fork, Plastic Fork, she was a Fire Stick user too, right? She was a huge Fire Stick person, wasn't she?
Right.
Yeah. So she was. So they were into that. So once she started
to give her opinion.
I said he wish he was here
to give her opinion on the Fire Stick.
Now.
Yeah, but you know what? That, like what you said, jogged my memory too. The good thing I do like about, and shout out to Walmart, Wally World, even though this is not sponsored. Yeah, them batteries, right? One thing about it, that I could give about the On. I mean, they really made it affordable. I mean, you know, and I know everybody's budget is different, but you know, everybody can buy for $13 to buy a device. They even got Amazon beat with that. So the cheapest On device is $12.
Right? Yeah, so like now, to get into streaming, it's literally peanuts now. The street, you know.
Right. I mean, if you want somebody to just put the bare basics on it and tell them, listen, only have these on there, because where a lot of people get turned off, and this is, I have to tell people this all the time, and I'm sure all three of you had to tell people this too. The biggest problem that people run into on streamer devices is they add all these devices, all these apps that they don't need. Oh, well, HBO Plus looks nice. I'm gonna add that on here. Oh, well, Netflix looks nice. Well, do you have Netflix? No, but then why is it on here? Why'd you
Right.
download it?
Yeah,
Well, it
if you're
said it
not
was on there.
using
Well,
the
you
app
don't
in
need
at
that
least
on
a
there.
month, if you ain't used the app in 30 days, it's got to go.
Right.
Well, and on top of it, it's the
Right,
same
Tom.
thing as your phone. It's a bunch of bloatware. You know how you get a phone that has a whole bunch of games on there, and you know
Yeah, it
you're not
takes up the
playing
storage.
I'm left
Shoot
for
the
that
Rabbit
Donald.
or
I'm left for that Donald. Donald said 30 days, it gotta go.
right.
Hey,
It's like bloatware. That's what
I
it comes with these devices.
use
Uh,
all
I'm
780
sorry,
apps
Ken.
that are
I
on
just
my
had to
phone.
say that.
I use all 780
Oh,
apps
that
that are
was
on
funny.
my
That
phone.
was funny. That was funny. That was funny. But yeah, so the thing else you want to chime in on, Donald, about the introductories and stuff, and
Yeah,
you know, devices and stuff?
it's they're becoming the king. They're going to become the king of budget. OWN's already there.
Yep, yeah, that's true too. So what y'all think about this comment he made right here, Sharon?
Yes, exactly. You could add store. Yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
I
Yeah,
agree too. I agree with exactly what you're saying. Because,
yeah,
like I
especially
said, there's always a way. You got an older person and they're skeptical, and you want to say, you know what? I know you can't afford that expensive cable bill and stuff. Try this. And like I say, I always tell people, don't leave your cable right away. Keep your cable, but add this on at least one of your TVs. And I won't have to tell you to leave cable. You'll leave it on your
I
own.
guarantee you that
right.
And see
cable will
how
be
much
gone
money
in a
you
few
save.
months.
Sure do, right. Exactly.
And stuff. I won't even have to say, you know what? Have you decided to leave cable? Shoot. But
So
and
long
then
as
when they graduate, then they can get a bigger device. You can
right,
get the
exactly.
$32 one, and then get the $50 one or whatever.
It's all about there's nowadays there's a device for everybody's streaming needs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
everybody's streaming needs. Everybody might not want the Shield. Everybody might not want the Fire Stick, but there's all these little devices in between.
Personal, like
Mm-hmm.
they always say, personal choice.
Personal choice, right? Right.
Right.
But the key thing that we want to say, because we are a streaming channel and we do want to put out good information, is that none of the devices that we mentioned, whether you got the Shield, the OWN, or whatever the formula, if your network isn't right,
Here's a reminder.
this stuff is going to work. Your network has to be right. And what I mean by network is, make sure you got good internet or decent internet. Make sure that you got, your equipment. Do your research on your equipment. Reach out to some of us.
How many devices you're allowed on that network.
That too. If you have any questions about that, there's people like me, Sharon, and Paper, all of us. You can reach us to. Some of you got my phone number, my emails. Reach us on a Telegram. If you're not for sure about how to make sure that you got a good network. Now let me say this too. Why all Wi-Fi connections aren't created equal. There's going to be, all Wi-Fi has some stability issues and stuff. So, but the main thing is just make sure that you do your research on making sure you got good net on a good network, because that's going to make the difference if you're going to have a good streaming experience or not. So
but there's always good days. And another thing to add on to that, there's always good days and bad days with any technology.
Correct.
Always
remember, it could be here.
Paper.
I was going to say, always remember, if you need to increase your Wi-Fi speed and connectivity, all you need is some AAA batteries and a little bit of duct tape.
Oh, Lord.
He's joking, y'all. He's joking. But then,
no, this is another thing too. That's very, very important. These devices, streaming devices, we have to remind you, when you stream on these devices, whether it's even Roku, and we do not love Roku at all. But I have to tell people this, even with their Rokus and stuff, because people don't pay attention to this. But any of these devices, whether it's a Shield, a Fire Stick, you have to do maintenance on that, just like you have a car. You can't just go around driving a car and never do maintenance on it. So you're going to have to go through your app sometime, force stop them, clear the cache, Definitely do not leave that app. I don't care if you're on Netflix and you're like, oh, I fell asleep and there's Netflix was on. Make sure that app is not running in the background. Make sure if you have to, the next time you go on your device, even if you don't see Netflix playing, go in your settings and force stop it
And another
and
thing
clear
on
your
top of that,
cache.
Sharon, another thing
Mm-hmm.
on top of that is notifications. If anything can
Right.
be turned off, turn that baby off, because the less turned on, the better the device is going to run and perform.
Right.
Correct. So yeah, so
Screensaver
maintenance is
on
very
an
expensive.
on
Mm-hmm.
an Amazon device, the screensaver is a big hog. By the
Mm-hmm.
way,
I turned all
Yeah,
that off.
so those of you that may watch the replay, hey lady DJ, and then something
Hello,
else I
lady
wanted
DJ.
to add too is that okay, saying to add to what Shrik and Sharon said about that's important, but also me going back to your network. Now, I think I got pretty good internet, but like maybe once a week, I unplug my modem and router and let it recycle. Because you got to remember, the modem and router is running all the time. It's running all the time. It's running. So let it boot all the way down and regenerate. Because sometimes when you let that
every
do that,
Saturday
it
morning.
makes it run better. So that now you don't have to do it every day. Maybe like before. You know what I'm saying? Like if your husband,
Once a
wife,
week.
whatever, just get
Yeah,
up
like
early in the
once a
morning
week.
before your family wakes up,
Wake up. Yep.
unplug it, so just unplug it and just let everything power down and then let everything boot back up. And then that
let
should run
everything,
you again for
like
another
10
week or
minutes.
so.
Give it 10 minutes
that
to boot back
right,
up.
give it 10 minutes to boot back up.
You know
So
what I do? I get up in the morning, give myself time to wash my face, brush my
Yep.
teeth and stuff like that, and plug it back in. That give me time. Heck,
Right,
to sing the Merry
exactly,
Christmas, the Happy Birthday song twice or something.
exactly.
Also,
That's very important. It's very important.
yeah, like Donald said, I used to do it on Saturday when I wake up before everybody wake up, or since I'm only at church for a little bit of time, I unplug and have it unplugged since everybody's gone to church.
Yep.
I unplug when I leave to go to church, and when I come back
Yeah,
in an hour or so, I plug it 2 hours. I plug it back in. You know.
My wife and them, my wife
to
and them, me all sleep in. My wife and them, they sleep in. My wife and my daughters and them, they all sleep in. So
Mhm.
I'm usually up when I let the dogs out. I'm saying like about maybe 5, 6 in the morning. I let the dogs out. I'll come right in here in my room, my lab, and I just unplug everything. And then so like Sharon said, I just let it just stay off, and then I just let it reboot back up, and then bam, we good. So by the time they wake up,
Mhm.
they'll be ready to go. So those of them may watch the replay and stuff. These are, because I know we've said it in the past, but these are just certain things that will make your streaming experience a good one. So you know what I'm saying, whether you're streaming on an own device, a Shield or whatever, these are other little key essentials because it's not all about the device. It's all about the stuff that makes the
big
device
major
work.
router. Have a good
So
router.
go ahead, Paper. I'm sorry, Paper. I mean to take your thunder, Paper. Go ahead, my brother.
Ken, who let the dogs out?
Me.
Okay.
I was just going to add to that if you have a horrible memory and can seem to remember to do the maintenance on your modem and router or combo, whatever it is that you have, for about $4 or $5, sometimes cheaper if you watch, sometimes a little more, depending on what you're looking for, what you're wanting. You can get a timer switch or a timer outlet and set up a schedule on that timer to automatically turn that outlet off
I
and
forgot
back
about
on.
that. He's right. Yeah, I
Oh
forgot
yeah,
about
send me that.
that.
Send me that in Telegram. Paper after the show.
He is exactly right. I forgot about that. I forgot to mention that, but he's right. See, that's why I'm glad I got my colleagues on with me because everybody can't think of everything. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, there is a way that way if you forget, there is something that, like he said, there's a timer where it'll do it itself, and that's a good thing to have because right, some of us be so busy and stuff. We be busy. We working with our spouses, with our kids and stuff. We may forget, like, oh darn, I forgot to shut it off, but the timer
life got in the way.
And that's a great thing that what Paper just said, because I never thought about that, because you use that timer outlet, you could do it the same way. You know how, for example, you know how your phones have updates, and everybody most of the time, most people's phones update at 2:00 in the morning. Most people sleep at 2 in the morning. So have it set on that Saturday or that Sunday for 2 in the morning while everybody sleep. Who's gonna be on the internet while you sleeping?
Just like
I mean, you might wake up if you have your TV on, and be like, "Dang, why the TV went off?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Just like
you
can really find them usually really cheap around Christmas time when people are buying the Christmas lights and all the stores have Christmas lights.
They use them for big house decorations. Yeah,
that's usually a really good time to find them on sale or at discount stores. Ollie's or Walmart or wherever, dollar store, wherever.
Places,
you can find them really cheap, usually around that time. For those outlets that are set on a timer, just like they use them for the Christmas lights to turn on at 8 p.m. and off at whatever, you just set it to turn off at 3 a.m. or whatever, and back on at 3:30 a.m. So it's off for a half hour. You don't even know it's off, and the longer it sits off, the better off you are.
If you have any questions
Mhm.
about
I think I'm definitely going to change to doing that, what you said,
have any
because I was going to say before you said that, I was going to say, if you have a Google or Echo device, have that do it.
okay.
You
What I was gonna
can.
say is-
The problem with that is, sorry, Ken. I was going to say comment on with the problem with doing it with the Wi-Fi device is when you turn off your modem and your router, your Amazon device or your Google device or your Wi-Fi smart outlet or whatever is going to lose connection.
Yep, and lose
turn
Yes,
back
yes, but what I'm saying is that, for example, I could have it say, remind me
Oh
every
yeah.
Friday, at such and such time to cut it off, to turn my to reboot my modem.
Yeah.
And I know mine, every reminder I get my Echo, it remind me every hour until I tell it to stop. So even if I'm gone, and at first I thought that was aggravating, but I think it's a good thing that it reminds me every hour until I tell it to stop. Because say, for example, I have it remind me something, and then somebody come by and say, oh, you want to go such and such? And then if I'm not at home and I don't get that reminder, then that's just a wasted reminder unless I look at my phone to see that I got a message for it. But if it reminded every hour when I get home, and I'm like, oh yeah, well let me, Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that any products or anything that we're saying, for those of you that's watching now or for those of us watching on the replay, like what Pepper just talked about, how to reset it automatically, things that Sharon is saying, and I'm saying about the network and Donald, all of us can be reached via email. All of us can be reached in Telegram. So don't, I know it may sound a bit overwhelming when you watch the replay. Just if it's something that stands out that you're not clear on, just drop an answer in a link, on our YouTube channels, or reach out to us in Telegram, and we'd be more than happy to help you with your setup on your devices or your network. I think that's all I had to say. Thanks.
Oh yeah, I'm going to share my screen with something here real quick, Ken.
Oh yeah, sure. By all means, by all means, go ahead. Thank y'all for coming out too, Sharon and Donald. Paper, I thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all very much.
Welcome anytime. I'm available. Yep.
Appreciate it.
My screen here, so everybody
Thanks
can
to you
see
for
it.
letting us on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, y'all are. Y'all my people. Y'all know that. Anytime I'm on, y'all can come on. Please do. Okay, yeah. Share your screen, Pip. I'm ready for you, my brother.
Yeah, I'm getting my windows set up here. I had too many windows open and everywhere, trying to get it to where I can see what the hell is going on.
Yeah, 5011 windows open.
I need to when we get off stream, y'all, I need Sharon or you and Sharon to like, so you know how people can take over, like do what I do.
Yeah, you know the co-person.
Y'all need that because like right now I be having to go to the bathroom a lot. I be having to pee, and I be like, hey, I'll be want to. Hey, Sharon, can you let somebody in, or Pepper can let somebody in?
Right. I know how to go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that at a later date, though.
If you look right here, you get a 2-pack.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of them right there, and this is just the first one that I'd seen. So
Yep,
you get a
those
2-pack.
are used on Christmas.
That's a 2-pack for $9.99.
For $9.99.
Send that to me on Telegram, please.
You can get, and it's on sale right now. It's 23%.
Yeah, that's why I said send that to me on Telegram so I can get that.
Yep. So yeah, you can just get these and set it to.
Can you explain to the people, Pepper, what these are again? Can you explain for those of them that may be coming in and stuff? Can you explain to them what these are and what they do?
Yeah. So you can set a timer just like your sprinklers at home or whatever are on a timer to turn on and off at a certain time during the day or night or whatever. These will essentially do the same thing. They can turn on a light or turn off the light at whatever time you set it for within the 24-hour period. So, you can get the weekly ones, you can get ones that go for 2 weeks, or you can get them, whatever. You can have them set up, different ones. This one's a 24-hour one. So every 24 hours, I don't know if it's got the daily option on it or not. It's got an override. So this one looks like it's just every 24 hours. But, you can get the ones that only do it during certain days, or even whatever 24 hours. It does it every night. Um, and it will turn, you plug your router, your modem into it, set what time, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever's convenient when everybody in your house is in bed, asleep, or whatever, or just the time that you know that, okay, well, at 5 o'clock, the internet's going off and it'll be back on at 5:30 or 5:15 or
Right.
whatever, is convenient for you. Like I said, the longer the better, because the longer your internet sets off, when it does
Better,
turn back
the
on,
better,
it will
better.
connect to a different pole, or not pole, but what's
Not
it called
free.
on the line, down the
Yeah,
lines.
yeah, down the line. Yeah,
And it will give you a refreshed connection.
refresh connection. Refresh connection.
So that it works in your favor that way, as well as clearing the cache and everything on your device in your house.
Yeah.
But it just turns, it'll turn it off, and then at whatever time you set it, it turns it back on, and you don't ever have to worry about remembering to do it. It just does it for you.
Yep.
As long as you have power, which if you don't have power, you ain't got to worry about turning your modem and router off anyway.
I know mine really refreshed it fast weekend.
So that's a very good. So yeah, so that's a very good tool. So like I say, if y'all don't remember nothing else that we said, make sure that you turn off your modem and your router, even if you don't have this. But this is good for those, because most of us, we're busy. Most of us, we're busy a lot, and we'll forget. So those are something. So that's something that's important, because when you restart it, like Paper said, it refresh. So this is all about that refresh and makes it run better. So just keep that in mind, when you do that, and all that makes your streaming experience a good one. You know what I'm saying? So that helps. So all these little things that we're throwing out will help you. And if you can, in most cases, some of us can, some of us can't, try to buy your own devices, like buy your own router or your modem. Well, put like this. If you have a good modem, then keep your modem. The router is really what you really want to do, because see, right now I have Xfinity, and Xfinity. So when I did the math, when I went out and tried to, so I looked at my the modem with Xfinity. I looked at the modem that I was going to buy. The only difference is that it'd be mine, but it's not really difference in price and the performance. So I just said, listen, I'll keep the Xfinity modem, but I bought my own routers. I got 2 routers, so I bought my own routers and stuff. So that's another thing too that you can also have where too. So that way your Wi-Fi can be good, and also positioning of your devices and the positioning of your modem and router. You always want to take your router, keep your router kind of like up. Never put it on the floor, because you'd be surprised at so many people houses that I go to, and their modem and stuff is on the floor. And
I keep mine in my microwave.
I tell people the same thing. Put your router up.
Right. And then once they move it up, that usually takes care of the problem, because I'm saying this particular person I went over, they said they was experiencing a lot of buffering and stuff, and a lot of stuff going on. So when I went in there, their modem was on the floor up underneath the entertainment center. I said, well, let's just try this.
I was about to say that's the worst place you could put it, inside the entertainment center.
Right. So I said, well, let's try this first before I do any other troubleshooting. Let's just reposition this, the modem and stuff. So we had to do was just move it up. I think because Wi-Fi has to go around through walls and go through up in the air and stuff. So you'd be surprised at little stuff like that will help you stream better. So I don't know if anybody else see, like right now I gotta use the bathroom again. Damn. So share Paper, please.
Yeah, he's right. As far as the router and stuff, it's better if you have it up than have it lower up, because it can, it can reach things better. And there is times where you might need a Wi-Fi extender, but and those are extreme times, because you might be in the dead zone no matter what type of internet you have. You may be in a room or something in your house that may have kind of like a dead zone, like no matter what, I can't get any good internet in here. And in those cases, you definitely need a Wi-Fi extender. And the Wi-Fi extender will help you be able to get some internet in the room or the area.
I highly recommend, if it's
Hey, On Demand, how you doing?
In your budget. Hey, On Demand. Sorry, I'm not at the screen. If it's in your budget to get a mesh network, it doesn't have to be a huge one, $1,000 one or $2,000 one. You can get a mesh network for $100 anymore. Depending on the size of your place, the size of your house, whatever. If if it's just a small apartment, then you don't really need a mesh network, But if it's a larger home, or even even just an average size home that you have a back porch, or you have a front, whatever, a mesh network is I recommend them. I swear by them. You have a central router, and you have a node if you need to have 1, 2, 3, different systems for different amounts that they'll allow to connect. But it just blankets the whole area with that Wi-Fi, so you're not jumping from one. That's the issue with the Wi-Fi extenders. They work great in smaller areas, when you need them or have a small dead spot. But at the same time, they're only repeating. Some of them are repeaters and repeat that same signal.
I was about to say, yeah, they do.
Others set up an entirely different network off of that main network that you have to disconnect from the one network and then connect to the other network. When it loses, when a signal gets weak on the one, it'll disconnect and connect to the other one. And during that time, that can create a lot of issues. So that's where mesh comes in, is it blankets with the same network across the entire area.
Right.
Mine is strong enough in my house, and it's an older Orbi, but it was strong enough in my house. I had 2 nodes and 1 central router, and I could go 4 or 5 houses down from my house and still be on my Wi-Fi, which was overkill. But the main reason I had,
I'd rather have too much when it comes to that than not enough.
Well, yeah, the reason I had some, the extra nodes, or 1 node I definitely needed. The other reason I really had the other one was for a wired connection place, an access point that allowed me to connect to wired from the devices that I needed. They're wanted wired instead of Wi-Fi, but they're not that. You can get them fairly cheap, like I said, or you can go all out and go for the latest and greatest, and you're looking at $3,000. But I don't know. I swear by mesh network anymore. And that's true. Solberg just brought up a good point, that the power line adapters work just as well or better. And yeah, power line adapters are a great little tool. Much better than extenders, in my opinion, for certain applications. So I used to have a couple of power line adapters that I used for a point in my home that was connected to the same electric, but in a different way far apart from everything else. I'm not in the same home, so I didn't need them any longer. But yeah, it was actually a basement apartment type style setup that I used a power line adapter because it ran off the same electric. So
yeah, sometimes if you're way in the basement or way in the attic, it's harder sometimes with the
I got like a little $20 extender in my living room, so that way that my Ring doorbells can work. So that worked perfect for me. I'm perfect on that.
Aren't you on a mesh network, Ken?
No. I thought about it. I'm thinking about going fiber. I'm still in between the two because fiber just reached here in my city and stuff. So I talked to my wife about it, but I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't feel like going through all that again because I'm pretty much good. But if I
Once you go fiber, you'll never go back.
That's what I hear. So I'm still kind of debating on if I want to do that or not. But yeah, no. To answer your question, no. I don't have mesh.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What's up, buddy, man?
Yeah, I've had mesh network.
Yeah,
sorry.
Man. You can chime on in on it, man. We're talking about what we're talking about is, I don't know if you heard us before, but we're just talking about us, the own streaming box. But Also, we were just mentioning that none of these boxes matter unless your network is pretty much decent. You know what I'm saying? So we were just throwing out
Right,
different
right.
pointers of using like different things that we can use, like
Yeah.
restarting your modem and router, and etc.
Of course, yeah. I mean, like a good example is my friend. He called me the other day, all upset. Why does my stuff keep buffering? Why does my stuff keep buffering? Then I found out he changed his internet, and he went to like T-Mobile internet, and it's like, dude, you're getting a wireless internet, then you're going wireless to your Fire Stick, and then I go, you got 2 strikes on you right there. I mean that that's not gonna work very well.
But
So
my
yeah, I
speeds
think
are 300 down. Well, yeah, after the box.
yeah, I think he's gonna return that. I think he's gonna return that thing. But yeah, I just upgraded my internet to 2 gig.
Or man, what was the download speeds?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, whatever it was buffering and wasn't working good.
Wasn't working good. Oh, okay.
The problem with
yeah,
and On Demand can probably touch on this too, but from my experience, the problem with the 5G internet things is that your download speed that you're getting, it's not a true download speed because it's feeding off of only the communication between the device that you're checking the speed on and the box. It's not telling you what your true download speed is from that box through the 5G network.
Well, that's only part of it. Also, you're sharing your internet with a bunch of other people, and he found out
right.
during peak hours, everything was way worse. He goes, "Yeah, middle of the night, midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, everything fine." And I'm like, "Yeah, 7:30 in the evening, nah, no good."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sharon taught me that. Sharon was telling us that one time. Sharon was saying that. Yeah, you know, what I'm saying, like that. Or she had told me that one time. I was like, dang, yeah, she was right. Like during like peak times, like 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. Sharon's the thing about it, Ken. Everybody's on that 2.4. So everybody active at that time. I'm like, dang, she is right. So yeah, so Sharon.
Yeah, that's correct.
My dad has the same issue, but T-Mobile is
Power on mobile.
T-Mobile and Starlink are his only options where he's at, and he's going to be jumping to Starlink soon. But he has the same issue with T-Mobile internet at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
internet goes from
everybody's active and stuff, and
Yep.
I'm sorry, but I don't trust the telephone company internet. I mean, I remember even when my sister my sister lived down there where you were at, down there in Florida, and she worked for Verizon. It's like, if you come down here, we can give you the hookup, you can give Verizon. I was like, I don't know if I want to change over to a phone company internet. They already got so much going on anyway. It just don't seem the same. It's I don't know.
Well, Verizon's not just a phone company internet. They do have fiber. So.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, depends on your area. Like where I live, we have Frontier. Well, Frontier, everybody doesn't know, Frontier is bought out by Verizon. I just re-upped the contract for 3 years and locked my price in and upgraded my service to 2 gig because I know what the prices are from Verizon. And once the Frontier's name is changed over to Verizon, yeah, those you're not going to get those same prices that we're getting right now.
Verizon not going to play. I got Verizon now, as far as my phone service, but my internet.
The only time I had to use the phone internet, talking about on my phone, is when me and my wife moved, and we had to wait until the cable guy came, and we had to stream Netflix off my.
I remember that. We remember when that happened. We remember when you first moved over there. But I had to use my phone internet a little bit this past weekend because we were out of power.
Speaking of,
I had to use my phone internet Friday night and some Saturday morning because we were out of power. Our whole area was without power until I got over my brothers, and I was like,
Speaking of phone internet, and since we're on the subject of on boxes, that is the secret key to setting up an on device in a region that is not supported by on devices.
Yes.
Use your mobile hotspot to do the initial setup on that device in an area that is accepted by on, and then you can disconnect. Once it's all set up, you can disconnect from that, just connect to your regular Wi-Fi, and you ain't got to worry about it. But during the initial setup, you need to connect to your phone hotspot Wi-Fi while it's connected to a VPN in an area that is allowed.
Yeah, that's what I use.
I don't have to worry about
bro,
that.
when I needed the Netflix. Remember my wife watched Netflix when we moved? And the internet said they won't be there for a week. That's what I had used because it don't really take that much bandwidth to stream Netflix. At least back then it did. I don't know what it is now, but yeah, we was able to watch Netflix for that week until we had internet service.
Yep.
So yeah, so
Well,
anybody
Netflix used
chime
to
in
have-
for a free for all. Anybody down? Anybody want to dive in? I'm chilling, y'all. I'm chilling. So whatever y'all want to talk about is fine.
Well, Netflix should be pretty good because they got stronger servers too, and
No,
they'll be on.
No. They said that shit that they did with that Tyson fight, though. That Tyson.
Yeah, but that was different. That was their no, because that was a live event and that wasn't a VOD, and so it was. So that they just dropped the ball on that.
And really, if
Yeah,
you think
they
about
dropped the ball
Netflix,
on
they always specialize in VODs and videos anyway. So
Yeah,
they don't have as
but-
many live events. If you think about it, you go on Netflix for real. What do you really watch on Netflix that's live?
Nothing.
Yeah, not much.
Thank you. They mainly a VOD app.
Monday Night Raw. Come on now.
That's still not that much. That's still not that many compared to all the videos and stuff. Mostly everything you watch, whether it's a TV show or a movie, is VOD.
And honestly, that's the only reason I go.
So
Even their TV series. If you get into their TV series, when they post it on there, it's practically the whole series at one time.
So sure, so none of that stuff is live.
I couldn't see because I don't watch Netflix.
Sure, none of that stuff you said, right,
Watch on
Sharon?
Netflix is
Pardon me?
WWE.
So none of that stuff you saying is live, then I presume, right?
None of what is on live?
No. None of that stuff on Netflix is live. Is what you're saying, right?
No, they do have some live stuff. I said the majority of their stuff
Oh,
is not live on Netflix.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot
Over
of
half
live-
the stuff is VOD. That's why I said that's what they're known for. They're as one of the best supposed best. I ain't gonna say the best, but one of the top VOD services out there.
Yeah, but they were losing money like crazy until they started funneling ads to everything. And
then everybody else decided to do that.
Yeah, but that's the only way. That's the only way they were able to start turning a profit. They were losing a lot of money. A lot of people thought Netflix might not last. Several years ago, I remember seeing all the articles about Netflix is about to go under and et cetera, et cetera. And a couple of years later, they turned it all around.
Blockbuster could have been Netflix if they didn't feel like what Netflix was doing was a joke. They could have been Netflix because they offer that same. Blockbuster was on top, and they offer Blockbuster to do the same thing. Oh, Netflix not gonna last, child. Look who's still here.
They were ahead of their time with Blockbuster. Same way with that Amazon, like we were just talking about earlier, the first Amazon, the streaming box.
The one that you could put your stuff in the back of.
Yeah,
I don't know why they took that away.
I got rid of that.
Ahead of its time. People weren't ready.
I was ready. And that's why I still got that device to this day. That was the only one you could put your own storage in.
That boy was
that one device, and then they regressed. It's like I said earlier, it's like every time Amazon does something great, and you be like, yes, then they take it away. Like, for example, like I said, that may have been a mistake that time when they were changing over to make Netflix for you to be able to watch it on your 15s like TV. But that's when they had it open for a millisecond, like I said, for you to be able to side load it. And I believe me, I grabbed downloader so quick and put a few apps on there, but then it seemed like just as quick as it was available, as quick as they took it away.
Yeah, the Soul Bro said it was for 2 weeks, but by the time everybody got wind of it, because like I said, sure, because when you called me, me and Son was at dinner. I said, well, I'll do it when I get home. When I got home, it was gone. Like, I didn't do it right away when I got home, but when I came, so as soon as I went to do it, it was gone. When I called you, I said, Sharon, they took it away. It's gone. Yep.
I mean, but people are still able to do it, but then you had to go through the old-fashioned way, internet, ES File Explorer and everything. So, and that got to be teamed too much for a lot of people. And so they were like, bunk that. We ain't for to go through all that just to get apps on our Echo 15. But I think that was messed up that, it was on there for, and even with 2 weeks is still a millisecond. compared to how long some stuff be on these devices.
For real.
So and I'm like, heck, we the ones who helped you become as popular as you can, and you're fighting against us as much as you can. But I know it's all about the advertisement at the end of the day.
And that money, yeah, they tired of paying them.
Even though their biggest consumers were people like us.
Yeah, they're double dipping. They're double dipping on their consumers, though, which is a sad thing. And most people don't even understand that they're getting screwed over on that Netflix service.
Well, you know what? I feel like PLEX is starting to do the same thing. And the reason why I say I feel, in my opinion, that PLEX is starting to do the same thing was because how? Yes, you can add your own content to PLEX, but if you try to commercialize any of that content and maybe, I don't know, maybe because they're paying for the licenses on it or something like that, you'll get in trouble. But then they could turn around and say, hey, now they got if you want to share it or anything like that, you got to pay, but they could, it's crazy.
You got to understand they haven't been profitable. So what they're doing is they're trying to become the next Pluto TV. And that's what that's exactly what they're trying to do. Pluto TV was like last year like $1 billion company.
Wow.
I mean, profitable with ads. And then you got
CBS owns them, right?
I don't remember who owns them, but Fox owns Tubi, which is the other big one.
I remember when Tubi was super. Both of them was super free. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
nobody knew about hardly none of them but us.
Ad-based service is the future, but when you got companies making you charge for the you have to pay money for the service, and they're putting ads on it, like Amazon, like Netflix. They should have a free tier that's ad-based to suck everybody in, and then have a tier that's maybe ad-based, paid, where you get more up-to-date content, and then have another tier that's no ads at all that you pay
or one with less ads if you're going to have an ad one if you're paying, because pretty soon you're going to have to pay just to watch your local news.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And stuff. They're trying to get rid of the antenna for real.
Well, they are.
I mean, if you got antenna TV, you could practically get nothing. And then you know how the cable companies, if you pay for the lowest tier of theirs, or you getting a whole bunch of infomercial channels. That's it.
Did y'all hear about this? It's kind of not off the subject, but me and people were talking about it. Y'all heard me talk about it today. Like not even with us trying to show stuff on YouTube, we know we can't do that, but even to show the legitimate stuff, they're cracking down on that too. So for instance, what I mean by that is that, so say for instance, like if I plugged up this OWN box now and just showed y'all like, the apps and stuff on it, chances are I could get a copyright claim.
Only if you play it live.
No,
if you play it, you can show it and you won't get a copyright.
No. Listen to me, guys. Now, I heard this. Now, Paper, can you expound on it? No, Sharon. What I mean by this, Sharon, is that even if I show like Pluto or don't even go into nothing. Like, say for example, okay, I plug it in, and then like I just start like flicking through the apps, like showing you like the stuff that's already on there. They're saying that if some people were saying on YouTube that they got a copyright claim for that. No.
Well, a copyright strike or a claim?
The claim, or is it a warning? Because they could have got a warning. Like for example, I didn't get copyright, but when I told Showtime, I got a warning.
Paper, help me with this, Paper. They said they got a copyright claim. That's what they got.
A claim isn't a strike and doesn't affect your channel at all.
That's just a warning, like
that just affects the monetization of the video.
What I'm saying is, I understand that part on demand, but what I'm saying is that, but that's kind of crazy because you're not showing anything. No. So right now on demand, if you plugged in a device, right, and you just showing like the bare bone device, you ain't put downloader on it, you ain't did nothing.
The only thing I can think about you getting that from is, for example, when you turn on your device, you see The only thing I can think about is when you turn on the device and you show it. You know how when you first turn on your Fire Stick or your arm box, it has the advertisement, and that couple of seconds of advertisement, that's what
That
they
may
get you
be,
on. That's
that
the
may
only
be the
thing I could
case.
think they could strike you for. Say, for example, if I turn it on and they showing a commercial of Mission Impossible or a commercial of Superman or
That
something
may
like that,
be
they'd be
the
like,
case.
"Oh,
You
Marvel said
talking
nope, you
about the
can't be showing
trailers.
the
You talking about
Avengers."
trailers.
You know what
No,
I'm saying?
but
Because that's the
that
only
may be
thing
the
I could
case, Sharon.
tell
That
is
may
that
be
little
the
bit of
case.
advertisement.
Hey, Paper, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Tell them what you heard too, Paper. Tell them because me and you heard the same thing.
Yeah, I had heard of the same thing of people getting the copyright strike, or not strikes, but claims
A claim.
for
Just showing a bare bone device.
showing and it doesn't really say what the claim was for. It just says that it was a claim on their video, and nothing. The only thing that was shown was the home screen with a list of apps or whatever on that device.
Right. Thank you.
They need to investigate that and see if it's because there is a such thing, and I don't know if people are aware of this.
That's
No,
weird on
Yeah,
you, man.
you can
That's what I'm
fight
about
that.
to
You can
say.
fight that, and usually it'll get overturned. Something like that will probably get overturned.
But why?
The problem is it's already done.
They started doing that? Why has they started doing that? Because
But
here's the
no,
thing.
also this too, another thing too. Say for example, if somebody you don't like, say for example, if I don't know, say for example, I'm just using you for example on demand. You and I didn't get along, and I wanted to show the arm box, but I say, oh no, on demand showing it. Well, I'm just gonna say he did this, and I go get all my people to report him on that. You can get a warning and stuff for that, but if you don't investigate it, huh?
That's different. That's not a copyright claim. That would be a community guideline strike.
Right, community guideline strike. Right.
Yeah, those are different things.
Is that saying like Pepper said, like because they were saying that just the now. So a claim with the guy that said it that I heard, he said he got a copyright claim, but he didn't show nothing. He didn't show nothing, Sharon. It was just like Pepper said, it was just a bare bone device. Like he plugged it in. He didn't show nothing. He didn't show download. He didn't even program. He was just going through showing the apps is already on.
The only thing I could think about
have,
is some advertisement must have showed while he was going through that. That's the only thing I could think of.
It was false positives do happen, and it's YouTube's automated system sometimes, and you have to fight it. But the problem is the system on YouTube is broken. Because you can fight it and then they'll overturn it, but the problem is that takes a couple of days, and by the time it gets overturned, you then have already lost momentum on the video. And
my question is, are we safe to do that? Because I wanted to plug this up through my capture card and stuff, but are we allowed to do that now? Because I know we can't show nothing, but shit, after hearing what my man said, are they trying to crack down us showing?
Yeah, you're not monetized. You're not monetized anyway. Who cares? A claim ain't going to do anything.
Yeah, the claim only way it's going to. Only way it's going to affect you really is if you're monetized. That's number one, and number two.
I'm not monetized, so I can get away with it. Okay, cool.
You can get away with it more than somebody else can, but you don't want to get too much trouble because your channel is more susceptible to being taken away than somebody that's monetized.
You can get 1,000 claims and it won't affect your channel. Claims don't do anything except for take away the monetization. That's all they do.
Oh, okay, I see.
And you're not monetized anyway, so that's something you won't have to do.
And you know what the crappy thing is? If they did do it to you, YouTube's only hurting themselves. And the reason is because until you're monetized, YouTube runs ads on your channel, and they make money off of you until your channel's monetized. That should be
something that you should make sure you don't fall victim to that either. Too on demand for those of you that's monetized. So you might want to investigate that too on demand. Quiet as a cat.
Oh, I'm almost remonetized. My channel was monetized, and I lost my monetization because I didn't do any videos for many years. And then now I'm almost remonetized with some of my latest videos. So when I do get remonetized,
just told me something because I thought a claim was a strike. I thought
they're completely different things. Yeah, see, like a claim will be like the most common claims are for music. And so when you put music on your channel from something, you might get copyright claimed for the music. And then that's just somebody claiming your video's money so that they get the money for it.
And there could be
Yeah.
false claims on that too, because I remember on another sector I'm in and stuff, somebody claimed the song was theirs and it wasn't their song at all. And then they went and showed YouTube, you know what, this is not their song and stuff. And YouTube let the video went back up there. And then sometimes you could always put that video back up. It'd just be more of a premiere than a live, or you could edit that video and turn them into
Right.
shorts, you know, or edit the parts you like. So it's not like all money is lost. Like, for example, you could chop up the important parts we said, like, oh, okay, this section we talked about monetization. This section we talked about the on box. This section we talked, you know, it might take a little bit of editing, but you could chop them up and put them all out like a lot of people do. That's how they repurpose their videos a lot of times. They'll do a live like we're doing, and then they'll chop them up into sections so you could just click on the part you want to watch on your live, or they're clipping to a bunch of shorts or clip them into a bunch of videos, you know, and stuff is another way to repurpose it.
Yep.
Hi.
Okay, so Wardell said that they are on point. He said these are on point. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna go get mine.
I'm gonna go this weekend and see if they got any at my Walmart yet. If they do, I'm gonna pick one of those up so I can do my own review on it.
I ain't heard nothing but good things about it, so I can't wait to.
Okay.
Oh, it should be. It should be faster. It should be faster than the Pro. It's just
That's what I heard on it, man. I heard the same thing on it, man.
the Pro
Dr.
has.
UK really said some good stuff about it yesterday. I was watching his video, man.
There's a few other YouTubes that I watched.
I would prefer the Pro. I would still prefer the Pro one because of the USB, the Ethernet, the all the added features, the backlit remote. I don't know if this new one has a backlit remote.
No, this one just has a voice. It says it has a voice.
And the hands-free portion that's on the Pro one. See, the Pro one's a little slower, but people don't care. It's all about features today. All about features, whether it's your cell phone or whether it's
Michael,
a TV streaming box.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Mike Forte, Wardell.
Yeah. So on demand, I can't wait to see your review on it either, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna break it down and show us some stuff, but I just, you know, for $29, $31.67 to be exact. I mean, that's
without insurance.
Huh?
That's without insurance, right?
Without the insurance, right? Because I didn't get the insurance.
Because because remember, a lot of people get their insurance with it.
It's $31.67 out the door without the insurance.
Okay.
That's good.
Like I said, that's beer money. I mean, come on. I mean, that's nothing.
I mean, and on top of that would make a great Father's Day is coming up. That'd make a great Father's Day gift to a lot of dads, or you know, and stuff, new dads and stuff.
Stocking stuffers for Christmas time, Father's Day, stocking stuffers.
It makes no sense, all these people using other devices that do so much less when you can get an inexpensive device that's so good.
And it's so easy to set up.
Good point on it, man. Good point on it, man. Good point.
I mean, it's Google certified, Dolby Atmos. I mean, everything, you know. And
for $31, come on.
Netflix certified. If you watch Netflix, I don't care about that, but some people do. You know,
$31. Yeah, you're right on it, man. You're right about what you just said, man. Like, hey, budget device, it is perfect. You know,
I've about flipped all my people onto the on box, you know, because like I say, it saves a lot of money. Yes, exactly. And then and it's so much easier to set up than the Fire Stick. I need your Amazon account. All you need to tell that person, let me see your phone. Scan the QR code and let them do the rest. Let them practically set it up themselves.
Right.
And if it's like the Pro one, I was able to put the Projectivity launcher on and get rid of all ads from Google. And so, I mean, you know, you can change to that launcher, and it comes right from the Play Store.
I'm gonna have to add that on mine then.
Yeah, I mean,
and they have storage on this too. I think it doesn't come with a USB port. I think it comes with a USB port.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to hook a USB hub up to it if you want to do that.
Nice.
You know.
I still say this is the way to go, y'all.
I know. I want one so bad. I want one so bad.
Oh, man. I'm ready to get my hands on one.
Oh my God.
All right.
How have you not thrown that in the trash?
I haven't even opened it on demand. I just got it in the mail the other day for free from
Tyrone Mobile.
So this is Wi-Fi. This is Wi-Fi 6. This is Wi-Fi 6.
Is that a Roku? That's a Roku. What the heck? Where'd you? How long you had that?
You have this thing. This is the only Roku I ever bought. I bought it to do. You know why I bought this? Originally,
because of Roku Thursday.
No, I originally bought it. True story. Back when I bought it, I still had Comcast cable TV, and it was the only streaming device that the official Xfinity app would run on. Literally the only device.
The device that we had.
Wow.
With Sling TV.
And I had it in my room just so I wouldn't have to put a cable box in the bedroom.
Wow.
But that was like 7 years ago now, or 6 or 7 years ago. It was ridiculous.
Forever away. Seems like almost a lifetime ago. Roku Thursday.
That Roku with
hey,
was that.
Hey, I wonder. Hey, he's back online. I wonder if he's bringing that back.
I don't know. Roku Thursdays. Yeah, but
you need to make it to where you can put your premium service on there better than what they're doing. Now that'd be sweet.
I already know how to do that, but it just doesn't stay on as long.
It just doesn't stay on.
Right.
Yeah, you have to keep doing it.
My YouTube channel is mostly all computer tech shit now. Anyway, I'm not even doing much streaming videos.
Yeah, because I keep pressing the 3 bar on you, and you keep jumping out my algorithm, and I keep having to go to Telegram in order to watch you and stuff. Because I be like, wait a minute, you posted something, unless you posted in Telegram, I don't know why I don't know if they keep unsubscribing me from you, or I keep pressing the 3 bar.
Sharon, I have a video that comes out every day. My Windows
I know,
11,
but you know how YouTube do. YouTube, listen, it's these 2 people I was modding for, right? Why YouTube kept unsubscribing me from them? And I'm like, I'm here almost every day modding. How the heck you gonna unsubscribe me? And I got a blue wrench and I'm modding for these people. Sometimes we be on hours and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, every time I went to their channel, YouTube will unsubscribe me. And I had literally screenshot and showed it to them. I said, I'm so sick of YouTube unsubscribing me from y'all every day. And I mean, these people have a big following, but it kept unsubscribing me from them.
Well, yeah, my Windows 11 videos at like 36,000 views now or something.
Oh, wow. That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'll still do streaming videos, but it's just not going to be, I'm not sticking with only that, you know.
Right.
I got too much knowledge to just do that type of tech. That's
be stuck in one box. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to help people out because so many people are going through trouble right now because Windows 10's end of life is coming right now. So,
I know.
And so they need to know how to install Windows 11, and Windows 11 installing it on unsupported hardware is the main thing, so people can get it on.
That TPM, get past that TPM.
I'm going back to Windows Media Edition.
I am too. I'm going back to ME.
Yeah, good.
And that's what we were saying before.
I don't think there's a very good supported web browser for that.
No, that's what we were talking about before. Ken asked about with the Fire Stick changing over, would it be good to keep the Android edition and stuff? And I say you never know, because remember when the ME came out and then we went to another Windows and then everybody kept wanting to revert their computers back because the new one was just so horrible. I said, so you never know. I mean, they may go ahead.
You wouldn't believe some of the comments on some of the Windows videos. People were like, how do you load it on 32-bit? I'm like, 32-bit was gone during Windows 7.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Windows Vista, they started 64-bit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You're going to try to install Windows 11 on 32-bit? No, not possible.
Yeah,
Sorry.
what you got to do is you just get a knife and you cut that file in half.
Right. You edit. No, you edit it since you're on a computer. You edit that file in half.
I'm like, you got to be a troll asking a question like that. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
No, then again, they may really not know. They may be not be tech savvy at all. At all. I don't know.
Too big. You got to go buy another computer. If your computer
Hey, Sharon.
PC.
Yes.
I sent you the link for those outlets.
Thank you. Yeah, we were talking about that too. I don't know if you was in the chat then.
I also posted it in MS7 and I attached it as a reply to the live stream link for the show.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about how it's important to when you get these devices, maintenance is very, very important. They're not the cable people, but you definitely got to treat it like a car or like anything you would have. Maintenance is very important. Not leaving that app open.
At $30, just buy a new one.
Even at $30, still, I don't care if I paid $12. The cheapest one is $12. I'm still gonna keep my cash clear. I'm still gonna force stop it. And the worst thing people complain about all the time to me, they complain, they be like, oh, my such and such device. Did you close the app when you got done with it? No. Well, that's why.
See, that's my problem.
Oh, yeah,
I cleared my cache one time and I ain't never been able to find it anymore.
Yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, that's one of the biggest problems. People don't, and if you're not using it, get rid of it. If you've been, and that's the second problem I've always had with people that, well, I'm not, what I'm trying to say. People are like, oh, I wonder why my device is running so slow because they've added Netflix, Disney Plus, all these apps that they're not even paying for, they don't have, and it's just like bloatware. I told them it's no difference than when you buy a new phone and it has all these games on there that you be like, I'm never gonna play these games. What are these games doing on my phone? Everything that you can delete it. If you can't delete it, force stop it. Put it to sleep. Because everything else is just taking up space on your phone,
Yep. Sorry, I'm eating my.
That's okay.
Trying to eat some chili at the same time, so I couldn't reply real quick.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was just reading this news article too, totally off topic, but where that plane crashed in San Diego yesterday.
Oh my God, I did hear a little. Oh my goodness.
It was
California.
It was the drummer for a band. What was the name of that band? The Devil Wears Prada from 2005 to 2015.
Wow.
He was the drummer for that band, but him and I don't know how many people are big into the music thing or whatever, but Dave Shapiro he was a agent. He had his own agency or talent agency.
Talent agency. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He was in there too, and passed. He died.
Oh no, we're definitely good. My condolences to the families.
6 people
everybody
or 8
in there.
people were on board the plane, but it crashed into Navy housing in San Diego.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, what happened?
A private jet crashed. It was had a drummer, musician, and Dave Shapiro on it. 6 people total, and they all died.
Wow.
It was yesterday. It was Motley Crue's plane.
Wow. Their private plane?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Definitely just I have all them, the victims, the ones who survived and, ones whose family members who perished. Definitely all of them in my prayers, Just so much going on. That's why you just can't take things for granted these days. People for granted, It's not ever, if you have it out with somebody, it's not hard to say the words. I mean, it might, even if you can't say it right on a piece of paper, I'm sorry. Even if you feel like you're in the right, you know what I'm saying? Because life is too short.
Yep.
Right.
To just stay focused, and then before you know it, and time pass, you don't even know what you got upset with each other about, So definitely,
I want to thank, well, yeah, you're right. I want to thank everybody for coming on. If anything else somebody else want to say, let me know. On demand, is there anything that you want to promote? Anything that you got out that you want to talk about?
No, not really. It was a good show.
Yeah, real good, real good. Shout out to Shrika Sharon. She came on with me today. So I hope we said something, guys, that that made sense. Like I say, if you need any of us, we all can be reached by emails. We can, everybody know who we are on our channel. Just drop a question in the comments or section, or reach us out on Telegram, and we'd be more than happy to help you. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. On demand. Okay, say bye to us.
Hey, everybody, have a great day. Like and subscribe. Don't forget before you leave.
Thank you, sir. Paper plate.
Yep. Appreciate you having me on today, Ken. Thanks. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Sis, Shrika Sharon, Mr. On Demand, Donald D. Nice was on the panel earlier. Everybody had some input today. Appreciate it. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. And like Ken said, if you have any questions or need any help with anything else, all of us can be found in Telegram or in the comments. One of us can see it, know how to get a hold of the other if it's specific questions.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. Shout out to my granddaughter. Today is her 12th birthday, so happy birthday to her.
Right.
And again, everybody be safe. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch you next time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Peace out.
Thank you. If you guys have a specific question for the man, he's a hard man to catch up with, but we know how to get in contact with them. I had to throw that in. That's my guy, man. I like on demand. Shout out to on demand. Paper, thank you very much. Shrika Sharon, can you say bye to us?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank Ken for turning this show into a mukbang in the end. I also like to thank On the Bed and Paper Plate and Donald for coming on. We thank everybody in the chat that came along, because without you wouldn't be a show. So we definitely enjoyed all of your input. Everybody who had input in the chat, appreciate all of you for coming through. And another great show, and like I said, we all can be reached at Telegram, on YouTube, comment sections, click on our channel, leave a comment or something under one of our videos or lives and stuff, and we'll try to get back with you. Also, have a wonderful holiday weekend.
Yeah, I forgot
and stuff. Stay safe. If you decide you want to go out and drink or whatever like that, please have a designated driver or Uber, Lyft or something like that. But definitely enjoy your weekend with your families, and happy birthday to your grandbaby, Paper. And with that being said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all on your notifications so you get all notifications for when Ken go live.
Thank you. Even with her closing out, she still be modding. I appreciate Shrika Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Paper, my brother. Thank you, Andy Man. These are my regulars. These are my friends. These are my brothers and sisters, my colleagues. Thank you, Donald D. Nice. Yeah, so like they had said, like any of us can be reached. And so, for example, if you have a question for Andy Man and I see it, I'll reach out to him and he'll get it answered or whatever. Or we'll do another live again and we'll reach out to On Demand or vice versa, Paper, whoever. But anyway, I hope everybody had a good time. Like Sharon said, drink responsibly, have a designated driver. We love each and every one of you guys. I may do another live tonight because, like I said before in the opening, that there's some more of my friends that's going to buy this, that got this. They want us to do an unboxing of this tonight. And I may attempt to, like I say, plug up to my capture card and we may just have some fun with this tonight. But so yeah, so look forward to that. If not, then we'll just do it at a later date. But with that being said, I love you all. See you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace out, everyone.
Chicken grease.